Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We've done the showcase, they were amazing, now it's time to take first the LR God Goku and Vegeta into the Legendary Vegeta event, where I do not doubt that these two will absolutely dominate. I mean, not only do they stack, and this isn't Red Zone where it's, you're taking 600-700k on supers like immediately. You don't have to worry about that here, which is good. So we can let them build up for as long as possible. And one major thing which is great. I mean, this first rotation isn't the best, but we can work with it. It's not like we're going to be struggling for key. And this isn't even my one. Funny enough, this isn't even my one. But that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, we can build them up for as long as possible, as long as we need. And then by the time we get to SSB, I mean, we already have type advantage, which is huge. Then we can fuse them near the end and just watch them just completely go wild and just do damage. Just do damage. I do not doubt in the slightest that the SSJ4s will also be completely fine when we do this with them as well. As I said, they're amazing in Red Zone. Yes, their defense prior to transforming and also SSJ4K's fusing can hurt them a little bit. But they are still some of the best units in Red Zone, and you don't have to worry about that here. You just don't have to worry about that here. So I don't doubt that they're going to dominate this event. The only thing that's a little bit for me is I've decided to keep Blue Boys with them because they link with 6 out of 7 links. I'm not trying to get every single link active. We're actually getting super attacked already. I'm not trying to have every single link active. It's just a good rotation. Before the Easy A for the Tech God Goku comes out soon, in about a week or so. It's kind of like one of the better rotations. So I'm kind of using it, but we do need to get them like orbs and rainbow key spheres to make sure they're 18 key in to greatly raise their attack and defense and giving them as much orbs as possible. So we're going to have to see how that goes. But then I'm also relying on the gods to literally just go to work and do that much damage that we're not really going to have to worry about the Blue Boys. But it definitely may become a problem. I'm not going to lie. It definitely may become a problem. And then I just put units on the team that I felt like using, like, Kale and Caulifla, who don't actually link too badly with Gohan. And then VB. And then VB. I'm actually going to rotate these gods off. I really felt like using Easy A VB. I really did. Even though the tech one isn't out on global and it's just not the same, but I really felt like using some form of Easy A VB, and this is as good as global gets it right now, which is the Fizz one. And one good thing as well, which is pendant, we can run a 200% category lead team around Fizz VB and see what he can do with level 10 links. That I'm looking forward to doing. Fizz VB is still really good to this day. We've already done a level 10 links video around him. So I cannot wait for that. But enough about that, because this video isn't about them. Of course, for 7 turns, we are going to be getting the key +1 per type key is retained and an additional attack +77% for 7 turns. Since, as I said, this isn't Red Zone where we kind of have to worry about getting clocked for like a 500, 600, 700k plus super attack out of nowhere, and we can actually let the gods build up. Of course, we will lose that after 7 turns. We will lose that. So, either your best bet is probably transforming them after 7 turns. So that way you can, have them running at their best and just take wherever they've stacked up to at that point and then just go from there, which still isn't an issue. As I said, it may be kind of annoying in some circumstances that you can't really, get them going as much as you want to in, for example, latter stages of Red Zone. Because sometimes you need to transform them, otherwise you're going to die. Because you need that huge damage, you need the extra defense at the time. You need to kill the boss before they kill you. There might be multiple attacks coming. Whatever the factor may be. But in here, as I said, when it gets to turn 7, you may want to, transform them then. And then wherever they stacked up to, go from there. And, as I said, on 18 key, they massively raise attack and defense. If you give them enough key, they will get the additional. Then they'll do their 12 key and greatly raise their attack and defense, where you raise your attack and defense by 150 in total for that turn. But because we don't have to worry about getting hit by just a ridiculous super attack out of nowhere, even after turn 7, when we lose the key +1 type per type key is retained and attack and defense +77%, we could just keep stacking them. Because by the time they get there, they should have some pretty good offensive and defensive numbers. The only thing that will hurt them only so slightly, is the extra key we'll get per type keys for obtained, which of course we'll get that back once we transform them. So it depends how bad you really want that, and probably potentially how orb placement is looking for you and who you have running next to them. So, you know, we'll see how things are going, and then we'll kind of make the decision then by the time we get there. But I'm looking forward to this, man. As I said, when it comes to longer events like GT Goku event and Vegeta event, these two LRs, especially the gods right now in the Vegeta event, should dominate. Of course, not only are they perfectly built for longer events because they stack, which is already a major plus. Don't forget, they kind of have like a head start because they're Annie LRs. Not only are they ridiculously amazing anyway, but they're Annie LRs, which means their attack and defense are typically higher than a lot of other units in the game. So it's almost like they're stacking with a head start. So not only are they perfectly constructed for a longer event, but they have type advantage against SSBE, which means they are going to absolutely dominate by the time we get there. And that's even before I've even said, oh, we're going to transform them, which is when they get even better. You probably wouldn't even need to transform them. Like, literally, in this phase specifically, I think probably even the GT Goku one as well, you probably wouldn't even need to transform them. That's how good they are. That is honestly how good they are. But I can't wait to see the lengths we get them to. To be fair, I could transform this one and then run them, but I kind of want to transform my one, which we're not going to do just yet. We're not going to do just yet. Of course, at one point we can transform mine and then keep the friend one on rotation with us and then have the full 7 links active. That's another thing that's great that you can do. And again, in a longer event, you can actually get to do that because you can actually let one stack up a lot and the other one continue stacking. So that is a great possibility we could actually do that. I probably will end up doing. We haven't really stacked too much right now for Art 1. We're only on 181k defense, but we still have time. We still have time. I don't think we're actually going to get... I think we're going to do too much damage to the point where we're not going to be able to do an additional super here, which would be nice so we can stack up a little bit extra. I think we'll do too much damage. We're already up to 6 million attack stat. We're already up to a 6 million attack stat. Now, this is kind of a realistic rotation because it's not like blue boys are bad. They are pretty good, but, you know, it depends on the orb placement if you want to kind of run that risk of potential bad RNG when it comes to orb placement. But there's a lot of other decent units you can run next to the gods. As I said, eventually, one of the best rotations for them will be EZA Tech God Goku. It's just right now on Global. The EZA isn't out yet. It'll be here in like a week or so, so we're just going to have to wait for that. And then once that EZA is out, that's it. You kind of just let them go. You let them do their thing because you're not actually, this is actually the rotation I was going for and I just haven't made it happen. But yeah, once they come out, it's not even like they link perfectly together, which is the funny thing. It's just once that EZA comes out, and then you have the God Goku, who of course literally is the kryptonite to not only movie bosses units, but then pure Saiyans, which is literally like 75% of the entire game. You literally have one of the best set rotations because then you can have the gods in slot 2 just sitting there just firing off super attacks left, right and center, especially if you're giving them the key to get the additional, which means they're stacking twice a turn. And if you have dupes, even better because you might super attack 3 times in one turn. Then they can, that God Goku can sit in slot 1 just soaking up all the damage. I say damage, literally becomes no damage. And yeah, it becomes one of the best rotations in the game. But unfortunately, as I said, we do have to wait like just a little over a week before we can do that. But they still do link very well with a lot of other units in the game, which is a major plus. It's a major plus. And as I've already mentioned several times, the Power Bestow by, not Power Bestow by God, I keep going to say Power Bestow by God. The Power Beyond the Super Saiyan category team, I actually didn't realize we were getting supered in that final slot, but we do have over 600k health, which is another great thing with these 200% categories. Because they have a lot of the best units in the game, you have a lot of health. That's another great thing, and that's what really helps in Red Zone, but I actually didn't pay attention that we were getting supered. We shouldn't be dead, because we supered. Oh, okay, we dodged. It doesn't matter. Oh no, Nullify. Completely forgot about the Nullify, even better. We would have survived anyway. But yeah, these units are honestly ridiculous, and I can't wait to see where we can get them. How well do they link with BB? They link okay. Of course, we'll get Kamehameha when we super. I'm just gonna leave this because this is just such a good rotation. Where are we up to now? 271k defense. We've still got time. We've still got some time. Those, and then that way VB can actually super. We're gonna get a Dokkan attack next turn as well. Another thing as well, even though they're perfectly constructed for longer events, is that if we are, you know, super attacking as, I say if we are going to be. I mean, this is the only phase where they're not going to be that great because they have type disadvantage unless you're getting crits. The only thing with stacking them up is that this unit on every other phase can do so much damage that we may not be able to stack them up a ridiculous amount. Because again, we're going to have type advantage by the time we get to SSB, which means, you know, the stacking runs out even quicker, or we have less time to stack because they're going to do so much damage. So I don't know how far we're really going to get them to stack before we transform them. But we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see. I kind of want to get them to a ridiculous length, but I don't know how far we're going to get them because we're doing so much damage. Especially when you have on the, like, the best categories, having some of the best units. All on one team, by the way. And again, I know you can't fit all of them on one 200% category lead, but I just wouldn't worry about that. Like, you know, the majority of them can be Kamehameha power beyond the Super Saiyan. A lot of the best units in the game are on that category. And then having a few that don't belong in that 200% category lead is completely fine. Same with movie heroes and Kamehameha as well. I said a lot of people get really caught up in... Where's the friend one up to? Oh, they haven't stacked too much either. But a lot of people get really caught up in, you know, making sure every single unit is on the 200% category, which I get it, you know, you want everyone performing at the best. It makes sense. You know, 1 or 2 units, not on the 200%, but on the 170 is completely fine. And even then, on a category like this as well, where, as I said, there's a lot of some of the best units in the game on this category, having 1 or 2 of them or just on the 170 lead from Power Beyond the Super Saiyan is more than fine. Like, their 200% are great, don't get me wrong, but even their 170, Power Beyond the Super Saiyan 170 lead team by itself is honestly ridiculous with these LR gods. So I've said it before with other 200% category leads, but more so with this one, don't worry if there's 1 or 2 units on the 200% category lead, because on the 170 they are still going to be great. They are still going to be amazing. We're actually getting super attacked in slot 1. Where are we sitting? To be fair, we don't even need to stack them up that much defensively because we're going to have type advantage. I just want their attack stat to get to ridiculous lengths. Are you serious? Can I actually... Crazy. I actually can't get an 18 key off. That's fine because we're still gonna... We're still gonna stack. We're still gonna stack for the turn. I'm actually not using an item to see how much damage we take where we are. We're almost at 300k defense. We have pretty much almost full health. This will do a bit of damage, but because we have so much health, it's not going to be that bad in the long run. Like, 280k is a lot. But we have like almost 700k now worth of health on a team. Which is crazy, which means the 280k is still a lot, but overall for the team, it's not that bad in the long run. Like, we're just under 400k health in total. Which is a pretty good point to be sitting at, considering we just got clocked for almost 300k damage in one super. It's just these year 7 LRs just, they don't stop being good. They offer so many great benefits. The only, as I said, the only qualm, the only downside is with the last stages of Red Zone, especially Broly and Shenron. But in God's case though, especially Broly, yes, having the easy attack God Goku rotation is great. God Goku helps a lot. But when it comes to them as an individual unit, with Red Zone dealing so much damage and you only having 3 attempts a day and 1 item, you can't risk stacking these up for a long time because of how much damage Red Zone can do to you. So at some points, as I said, you're going to have to bite the bullet and just transform them a bit quicker so they do more damage, so you can kill the boss quicker, get onto the next phase quicker, or beat the event quicker so you don't die. That is the only downside to them. When it comes to Red Zone, because you don't have enough time to stack them up, because of the damage you can take, it means their defense just isn't enough prior to transforming to handle the latter stages of Red Zone, which is okay, because they're not going to be perfect everywhere. But they still are very, very good. Like, for that to be their only downside, and yet they're still amazing in Red Zone, like, that doesn't make them bad in Red Zone. No one's saying they're bad in Red Zone. That doesn't say their defense is bad whatsoever. It's been misconstrued a little bit, since since Trunks and Vegeta came out recently on JP for Tanabata. It just means that's their only downside. Like their offense is so valuable in red zone, and then once they're transformed, and especially with an item active, they can tank a lot better. So it's not like they're unusable, or it's not like, for example, potentially a strength Vegito situation where it's like, you know, you built like wet paper, but you do a lot of damage. Do I risk it or not? They don't have that issue. It's just their defense isn't. Their defense prior to transforming without stacking enough just isn't where it needs to be. But they still tank quite well again, especially once transformed. So that's probably their only qualm. Out of everything they have going for them, that is their only qualm, which is actually insane to think about. Because literally on the JP side of things, it's been what, 3-4 months, and they haven't aged whatsoever. They are probably going to be some of the best aging units in the entire game. Even with Global getting 200% leads before they dropped, they are still going to be some of the best aging units in the whole game. No questions. Where are we up to, by the way, in terms of stacking? 741k attack stat. Of course, we will get more links active when we super. We're not even on 300k defense yet. We're not even on 300k defense yet. That's kind of mad. I think next time my one come back, the next time my gods come back, I'm gonna transform them. Just to really let them go wild, I'm gonna transform them. Of course, their numbers aren't looking that impressive because we're past turn 7, where we lose the extra 77% attack and defense, which is why I said when you get to turn 7 in a longer event, that might be the point you want to transform them. But because they stack and they already have like decent stats as it is, you can keep them going and they'll be fine. They just will look a little lackluster compared to what they would look like if they continued having the attack and defense plus 77 past 7 turns. So when they transform, everything you stacked up prior to then is just going to slap on tenfold, which is what I can't wait for. So the next time they come back, I am going to transform them because they're not looking that great right now, or they're not looking anywhere near as good as they can do. As I said, that's because we've gone past turn 7, we're on what, turn 12? So we've lost the extra key plus 1 per type keys for attained. We've lost the 77% attack and defense we get in for 7 turns. So as I said, in a longer event, that may be where you transform them when they hit turn 7. But they, you know, that's if you're okay with, you know, stopping the stack. But we are going to transform them, which looks like we are going to transform it in the SSB phase. And of course, because of how good the animations are and how good they are all in general, I'm going to have to let the animations play. I'm going to have to let the animations play. It's going to have to be done. It's going to have to be done. That's another thing going from them as well. They have some of the best animations in the entire game. Just to add like the cherry on top. Where are we up to now? Where are we up to now? I mean, hey, even without the extra 77% attack, extra 77% attack and defense, they're still in a pretty good spot. But now things are gonna get a hell of a lot better.
Let's do this, Vegeta! Damn you! This is a power greater than that of a Super Saiyan God! I'm going to have fun destroying you!
So what's our stats looking like now? Yeah, look at it jump up. I mean, the defense may not be ridiculous. I mean, if we let them stack a little bit more, even though we are on the final phase, maybe if we stalled a little bit, maybe if we took some less ridiculous units and kind of accommodated from stacking a while, even though they do ridiculous damage anyway, the defense would be in a better spot. But considering they have type advantage, considering they're going to massively raise attack and defense on 18 key, which we're hardly ever going to struggle to get, by the way, because of how much key they give themselves. Because now that they're transformed, we're getting that key plus 2 per type keys for obtained. We get any tech orbs. We're getting key plus 4 in total. I mean, look how easy it is to get. Just look how easy it is to get. It's honestly ridiculous. The only downside right now is I don't think actually Blue Boys might, no, Blue Boys are not going to be able to super. So I will use a Whis just to be safe. Where are we sitting in terms of attack stat right now? Over 2.2 million. We're on 2.2 million. That is ridiculous. 2.2 million. That is honestly ridiculous. And we have type advantage. 7.4 million attack stat. Remember, this is all at 55%. I have no dupes in these units. There's the additional, and there you go. That's why in red zone, when it's, you know, lat stages and they're hitting you for like 600-700k minimum on supers, upwards, like close to 900k million damage. That's why transforming them is okay, because you're going to hit an 18 key, because you're not going to struggle to get key. We just took 11 damage. I know we have a Whis active, but we still would have took next to nothing. That's why it's okay. You stack their defense up just maybe a little bit. It might not be a lot, maybe like a couple times, 3-4 times. At the most, if you're lucky. You get an 18 key while they're in blue. You massively raise your defense by 100%. Because they've got so much key, a lot of the time you're going to get the additional super. You're then going to hit the 12 key. You're going to greatly raise your attack and defense. In total, you've then raised your attack and defense by 150% for the turn, wherever their defense is sitting. So on average, you're probably going to be sitting on like just over 200k defense, and then raise your attack and defense by 150% when you super with the 18 key and the additional by 12. If you have dupes in and then you get a dupe system, a potential system additional, you're gonna raise your attack and defense again by 50%, which is then 200% in total, which is mad. So while it is a little bit frustrating, a little bit kind of tough to be like, oh, I can't really stack them like and get them to like insane lengths. You don't even need to. You don't even need to. When it comes to the hardest event in the game, you don't even need to, because by then they're going to have the extra defense to help them, especially after supering, which is why the Tech God rotation, the Tech Easy God Goku rotation works so well, because then they can super first before getting hit. You can raise your defense massively once by 100%, get the additional and do it twice. Even massively once is okay. They tank just fine. They tank even better with an item active, and they can do ridiculous amounts of damage, especially against Broly, who they have type advantage against. And this is why these two anniversary LRs, we ain't even gone for the SSJ4s yet, but of course they're pretty much identical barring when they fuse and the blues transform when it comes to damage reduction and evade. This is why they are two of the best units in the whole game, and they are probably going to be two of the best units in the entire game for a while. Honestly, being a global player, finally getting my hands on these guys, so happy. Even if you get one of these, man, be happy. It might suck that you didn't get the other one, but be happy you got at least one, because they are ridiculous. I mean, it would be rude if I didn't get the active off. It would be rude, so we're going to get it off. Vegeta's going to get clapped. We've got a guaranteed crit for all of our attacks after as well, including the active. Vegeta will probably die by the active alone.
Now it's my turn!
I mean, hey, Vegeta didn't die, but he's literally all we have to do is sneeze on him. Vegeta's dead. We've done an 8.5 million crit. Not to mention as well, while that was playing, if you do have dupes in them, that helps you stack them even quicker. If you're giving them enough key, not only will they super and then get the built-in additional, if you have additionals in them as well, which you're going to go mainly crit, but there's still a chance for you to get an additional super from dupe system, you could stack them 3 times in one turn, which helps a lot for red zone where you can't stack a lot. But yeah, we're going to end this, and this is going to be a guaranteed crit. They honestly are so dominant. They are going to be so dominant in every event you take them in. Even in red zone where they don't have the best defense, where they can tank everything, but still, 7 mil attack stat, and it's going to crit as well, which is insane. They are going to be dominant in every event in the entire game. 4.7 million crit, done and dusted. As I said, they were going to walk that. But let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm going to get started on the SSJ4s. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and push!